The EU will transfer to Kyiv the revenues that frozen Russian assets generate in EU financial institutions. Brussels made such a decision in May 2024. Ukraine will receive the first of the two tranches, about 1.5 billion euros, by the end of the summer.
We estimate that our measures will provide around 3 billion euros this year, and we expect to make the first installment of 1.5 billion euros by the end of the summer. That is our target. First of all, these revenues will be used for military support to Ukraine. The EU will work to mobilize more financial aid for Ukraine using frozen Russian assets. So instead of taxpayers paying for the damage to Ukraine that Russia has caused, it will be Russia itself.
Another way of using immobilized Russian assets was approved by the G7 countries in mid-June. The Group of Seven agreed to provide Ukraine with a $50 billion loan secured by Russian assets. The EU countries will provide up to 60% of the loan amount. The heads of the relevant agencies of the EU countries came to this decision at a meeting in Luxembourg on June 21st.
We will take note and take stock of what is discussed over there, especially with respect to the immobilized assets. I think that the G7 has made a clear way forward on what to do, and we will now have a first political discussion on what we need to do to implement this.
Frozen Russian money is not only cash. Most of it is money in deposit accounts, as well as securities, stocks and bonds, which are assets that work and generate income. These incomes will be the source of both the financial tranches for Ukraine and the collateral for the $50 billion loan, rather than the frozen Russian money itself, as the mechanism is easier to implement from a legal point of view.
Eurobonds are securities issued by European countries in which the Russians once invested their sovereign assets and the interests accrues. According to the opinion of European lawyers, once the funds are frozen, they cannot generate income. So the income from frozen Russian assets is in fact not the property of the Russian Federation. These funds have been and are being channeled into a separate account.
Concerns about the stability of the euro and unwillingness to set a precedent. This is how Ukrainian Justice Minister Denis Malyuska explained the EU's unwillingness to confiscate frozen Russian assets. But according to him, Kyiv continues to insist that a full seizure and transfer of the aggressor country's funds is a fair and the only decisive scenario in terms of ending the war. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Valeriana Kupelova, UATV News.